We all have that moment in time that we want to go back to and relive it. And if I tell you that's possible, you better watch this video to the end. Okay, so let me explain. I missed out a part from my last episode when I was talking about what happened after the year 2000 and our reality has been shifted, has been copied. And that's the reason why we experience a lot of Mandela Effect. That's why we experience a lot of blur right now when we're thinking back in the period of the year of 2000 and 2010, right? It seems blur. And I also mentioned about a lot of movies was remake during those times. So if you haven't watched that video, I'll put the link down below, depending on which platform you're on. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're on the audio platform, it's in the show notes. So I missed out a big portion. That big portion is our reality somehow was copy and paste. Just like when we do copy and paste in the computer, and seems like this simulation that when it got copied over to our new reality after the year 2000, there's glitches. And that's why many people remember one thing and another group of people remember another thing. I call this as a matrix glitch. And another part that I forgot to bring it up is if you really look back from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, every decade has a significance, right? And let's just give you some example. Let's say in the 60s, I have it down here. So in the 60s, fashion shift from conservative 50s style to individual looks, including fashion, miniskirts, and more hippie style. And as far as for the music, we all know it was dominated by British invasion, like Beatles, Rolling Stones, and protest folks like Bob Dylan, and then psychedelic rock, Jimi Hendrix. In 70s, fashion, polyester decades, disco, punk, rock, fashion, and the music is more like disco, folk, punk, and movies, new era in the 70s. In the 80s, I'm more familiar because I grew up part of it in the 80s. So fashion, more bold, shoulder patch, neon colors, very color and heavy, influenced by the pop star. And music, MTV, and corporate pop, and then movie, the rise of blockbuster, high concept films, iconic teen movies, and 90s. I grew up in the 90s. The fashion, baggy jeans, hip hop style music, movies, a lot of independent films, and digital technology began to impact. So see, each era has its own significance. However, after the year 2000, there's blur, there's no significance. Seems like all the style was blended in. If you just look around, the haircut, the clothing, the fashion, there's no fashion anymore. There's no significance. And also, if you notice, okay, the color, our reality seems colorless. I'm not talking about videos or 4K videos or phones. I'm talking about our reality. Just look around. It seems like we lose the colorful aspect of our reality. Everything seems more beige, more black and white, more grayish compared to before 2000 was more colorful, more rainbowish. So this is a major indication that our reality got copy and paste since the year 2000. We are living in a simulation. So back to that question in the beginning when I mentioned about we all have certain moments in time that we want to relive. Since we are living in a simulation, it's just like a computer and we can copy and paste. Okay? And of course, we are container in a third dimension, so time we experience linear. But in the other dimension, the higher dimension, time does not exist. So we are able to relive the moments that you want to relive. It's like a kind of like time travel. In more like non-sci-fi aspect, let's say non-spiritual aspect is consciousness. Our consciousness is the only reality. There's a follower on my TikTok. This person asked if they want to go back in time and relive life from 6 years ago. Is there a way? So I respond to this comment and I say, yes, it's possible. Actually, when she typing that comment at that particular moment, her conscious already there in that maybe few seconds. And then when I replied to that comment, when she read it, when the person, he or she read it, then he or she will relive that moment again in their consciousness. So let me just give you another example. If you drive, let's say commute to work, like I love to use this analogy. So driving to work, just think about it. How many times that when you drive to work every day and when you're on the road, you're conscious, your mind is actually somewhere else, right? And oftentimes we'll just drive to work without really pay attention to the road. I'm not suggesting you to do that, but that's just how we are automatically, right? We know the road, we don't really quote unquote pay attention. And we're thinking about yesterday, or we might thinking about 10 years ago, or we might thinking about any moment, let's say the 80s, 90s, right? See, that is what I meant by relive the moment. You are able to do that. And if you want to really experience physically, you can also do that as well. And just to give you a quick example, I experienced that actually the late 2024 and 2025. And I relived the experience. I was doing well in real estate. If you guys follow the real estate market, you know the market has been changed dramatically since year 2023. And I was able to relive the moment in time, quote unquote, in 2022, that the business is going, a lot of clients, a lot of inquiries, and I was able to recreate that during late 2024. And I recreate that for myself. Of course, that takes practice, all depending on the vibration of your field. And if you want to learn something deeper and want to really know how can you do the same, I'm going to share my experience, what I learned with all you guys on school. So I'm starting a school community. Right now, I have a wait list. It's free to join. Again, I'll put the link in the show notes. And if you guys are interested to learn more how you can relive the moment that you really want to relive, then click the link and join the community, and I will share more on how and share my stories. Or if you already experienced that, you can also join the community and share with everybody else. It's a very non-judgmental and very open community. Okay, so this is the part that I missed on my last video when I was talking about downloading and channeling information. And you might ask why this is so important, or why is this gonna do anything for your life or for your reality? And yes, because this is gonna expand your awareness, expand your consciousness, because many people are living in I call it zombie mode, Walking Dead, right? So they live day to day without recognize or aware of anything around them, and they just stuck in the loop. And just like the example I gave you about driving to work commute, because their conscious is always somewhere else, okay, and unconsciously somewhere else, and you can direct your conscious intentionally to the time, to the period of moments, to wherever you want. But first, you have to bring your conscious back to the present moment. That's the key. And again, like I mentioned, how you vibrate, it generates a frequency and creates an energy in your field. And for you to tune into what kind of life, what kind of reality, and what kind of moment you want to experience. So, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, YouTube channel, please subscribe. And if you are on audio platform, please follow and write me a review. If you're on YouTube, comment down below your experience of what's your favorite decades, and or what decades would you like to relive. I would love to read your comments and maybe share on the show here, just like I just did. Okay? Until next episode, stay safe out there and peace within.